Hi, Verbling. My name's Michaela. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona. And today we're talking about biomedical ethics. We'll be having discussion, reading a little, and talking about vocabulary. If you guys have any questions on the topics today or would like to request new material for classes, you can let me know on Facebook, and I'll put my Facebook name in the chat box for you, or contact me on my Verbling profile, which is also in the chat box. That's the second link in the chat box is my Verbling profile. Daniel, welcome to class. Looks like Google Hangout problems this morning. Womp womp. So I will also send you guys the notes while we're waiting. Daniel, are you there?
Yes, I'm having problems with the connection today
Interesting. Is
in
it the
another
connection or
class.
is it a Hangout problem?
Hangout.
There has been
Hangout
some
problem.
mysterious Hangout problems so
Yes,
far today.
I
Sometimes
I had 3 class this morning and I do the I had the same problems.
interesting.
Maybe people who try to get in class have the same trouble.
Yeah, I think there has been some funny stuff going on, some mysterious Google problems, but I'm glad you made it in. And let's start. I put the notes in the chat box. Let's start with a warm-up question. Would you like to be a doctor, Daniel? Do you think that would be a good career path for you?
Yes, when I was young, uh, I used to say my mom I want to be a doctor for because my mother used to be a back headache
Hmm.
in the lumbar zone, and I said that. But I think it's you need to study hard, and then I changed my mind.
So you had the intentions. The intentions were
Yes,
good. You wanted to help people that you cared
yes,
about,
yes,
but it was a difficult path.
yes. I had
All right.
troubles with verbing chat today. I can. Could you please put in the
Yes.
chat, Google chat?
Yes. I'll put the notes in the Google chat as well. All right. And Fernando, welcome to class.
Thank you.
So, Fernando, do you think you would make a good doctor?
Um, Maybe because when I was a child, then I'm just 17 years old, but when I was like 10, I always think that I can save people. But then I met many more careers, and then I think I don't want to be a doctor.
Yeah, there are so many options. It's hard to choose just one. It's like you want to be a doctor and an astronaut and a hairdresser, and it's like there's lots of choices to make.
Yes.
All right. How about question number 2 in the warm-up section? How are the medical services in your country? And we'll go the opposite direction, meaning Fernando will start. Fernando, tell us a little bit about the medical services where you live. Do you think they're good or bad?
Um, I'm from Colombia. Um, and Colombia is bad, really bad. In Colombia, you can see many people died in front of the hospital because sometimes if you have an emergency, you can to make a line. Yes, it's an
Wow.
emergency, but a line?
Yeah, a line. So there are so many people who need help at the same time that it's difficult to get all of them treated.
No, the problem is that many people think that a headache is an emergency, uh,
Oh, I see.
and an emergency is when you are dying or like that.
Mm-hmm. I see. So there's some people who maybe don't need help, but they're getting it, and then other people who really need help and they don't get it.
Yes.
Oh, that's tough. That's a tough problem to solve. Daniel, tell us a little bit about the medical services where you live.
In Spain, the medical service are quite good. In general, there's maybe some part of the country better than others, but in general, I think we have a good medical service and for free because in Spain the hospital for citizens are are free. You must pay for a treatment or an operation, a surgery in general. You must pay for dentist or surgery for your beauty, but for
Plastic surgery.
plastic surgery, but
Mm.
for illness, it's free.
Awesome. So you are a fan. You like this medical service there.
Yes, maybe if sometimes I go abroad, I miss this medical service because in other countries you must pay for them too much, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll talk a little about the American medical service. I think that there are some good things about the American medical service, like most of the time when you get care, it's very good care. So it's very professional, it's clean, it's safe. I appreciate all of those things about the American medical system. But like Daniel mentioned, it's so expensive. If
Yes.
you have an unexpected problem, like say you break your arm, you could be paying $15,000. So in one
Wow.
day, all of a sudden, you have to pay like this huge, huge cost. And that for a lot of people is difficult to deal with, especially if you have an unexpected emergency.
In one day you become poor.
Yeah, exactly. You thought you were totally fine, doing well, saving up for a vacation, and in one day all of a sudden you realize you owe $10,000 and you don't have a way to pay for it, and that's I think really stressful.
Uh, if you have a good insurance, uh, what you say in English, to pay for medical service, insurance.
Yeah, so insurance helps. It's one of
Insurance
the
help.
ways people
Okay.
deal with
You
these kinds of
must
medical costs. Yeah.
you must have a good insurance health.
Yeah, yeah. Usually, really good insurance comes with a really good job. So, if you get a great job, it comes with great medical insurance. But if you don't have a good job, then
It's
then you
unfair.
don't. Yeah, 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 exactly. So it's like it's not everyone has those wonderful benefits, but some people do have really good medical care. So
If you
there's
have
good and
a
bad to the system.
if you have in Spain a good job, you you can pay for another insurance health better than the regular service,
Hmm.
and maybe you you have a single room or something, but in general, public medical service usually is better than the others.
Hmm. All right, so there's options. Today we're going to talk a little bit more about this, and we're going to start by reading a short little prompt, an article really, but it's very short, and then we're going to discuss it a bit. Fernando, will you read the first paragraph highlighted here?
Yes. German magazine Spike created frenzy over an interview it conducted with biology expert and Harvard University professor George Church. In the interview, Church discusses the technological feasibility of cloning a Neanderthal baby in the future. He suggested it would be possible using procedures for synthesizing DNA. However, an extremely adventurous family human would be required to be the surrogate mother of the Neanderthal baby.
Thanks. We had a couple important vocabulary words here, so let's talk about these before we go on to the next paragraph. The first one is surrogate, the surrogate mother. So what is a surrogate mother?
It's like mother, but no mother. I don't know how to explain.
Yeah, you're right.
Rent,
It's a mother
rent
that's
mother.
not a mother. A rent-a-mother.
Yes.
Yeah, kind of. Funny way to put it, but yeah, it's like when you implant an egg into a mother who will grow the baby inside of her. All right? What about feasibility? Technological feasibility of cloning. No ideas?
No idea.
No idea.
All right. This would be the degree of how convenient it is to do. So something feasible would be something easy to do, or accomplishable maybe is a good synonym here. So it's something that's accomplishable. And something that's not feasible is something that's not very easy to accomplish.
Okay.
And the last word we have is in the first sentence, frenzy.
Frenzy is a moment when you are acting like a wild animal. No?
Yeah, exactly. Crazy, energetic,
Yes.
madness.
Crazy, excited. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's read this last paragraph and then we'll discuss a little bit about what they're talking about. Daniel, will you read the last paragraph for us?
Articles entitled "Wanted: Mother for Neanderthal Baby" quickly spread online, leading people to believe that such a project was in the works. Church was forced to clarify that he was merely speculating on the technical possibility of creating a Neanderthal baby, not advocating it.
Great. So we'll do the vocabulary and then the discussion questions, which are some interesting ones. What does it mean if this project is in the works? This is an English idiom. The project is in the works. What does it mean? No ideas?
Literally?
Mm-hmm. So this would be something like in progress. When people say it's in the works, it means I'm doing it. It's happening. It's in progress. So I might say something like, "Oh, lunch is in the works." Lunch is in the works, meaning I'm making lunch. It'll be ready in a little while. Lunch is in the works. It's in progress.
Okay.
All right. How about speculating? People were speculating on the possibility.
to do guess.
To
I
what? To
um,
guess?
I not get to I suppose to do suppose. I don't know in English.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Uh-huh. Some other synonyms in
To do
addition would be
To suppose.
suppositions.
uh-huh. Yeah, like conjecture, or you're close. Earlier you said guess. Kind of like, yeah, you're thinking about and wondering about the possibilities. Uh-huh. And Shell, welcome to class. She's probably still loading up. Let's do this last vocabulary word. Advocating. What is advocate? To
Uh,
advocate.
defend.
Mm-hmm. Defend. Maybe promote.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So since Shell just joined, oops, Shell's already gone. All right. Then let's talk more about this article. But first, let's give a brief summary. Fernando, can you give a summary of what ideas were talked about in this very short article?
It's about a new opportunity to cloning a Neanderthal baby for maybe for study him or how him living many years ago, many years ago.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And the problem is that they need a mother,
Mm-hmm.
but the mother who is agree with the idea, who is ready for accept that he gonna have a Neanderthal baby.
Yeah. I think that
And,
would be a
and
difficult position to
also
fill.
they need help. They need that the people are agree to this. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. All right. So the first discussion question we have, I'd like Daniel to respond to first, and that is, what arguments can you think of for the creation of a Neanderthal baby? Daniel, what do you think? What are arguments for the creation of a Neanderthal baby?
For the creation in the reading or what I think
No,
about
your
it.
own ideas. So you have to advocate for the Neanderthal baby. Why would it be a good idea to create this Neanderthal?
Maybe for to study our evolution.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's the only reason because I don't find sense to do a rental baby.
All right. So to study our beginnings, Fernando, can you think of any other reasons for creating a Neanderthal baby? Why it would be a good idea?
Maybe because we can understand how they live, how many years they live, and because maybe we can learn something uh, about his life that will be good for our life in this moment. I think.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, definitely learning. It's an opportunity. The next one, what are the arguments against it? Fernando, will you answer that one first and tell us why it would be a bad idea to create a Neanderthal baby?
Because there is against the human rights, in my opinion. Because yes, the baby wants will be born, but all his life he will be eh, like only for the science, only in laboratory or used
Hmm.
for experimental. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of sad to think that his whole life will be just for the point of science, and he won't really have any family, and he'll just be an experiment. Daniel,
Yeah.
can you think of any other reasons against creating this Neanderthal baby?
Maybe we would be crossing the the red line. Mm, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's when someone create a dolly shape uh, from a cellular, mother
Mm-hmm.
cell.
Mm-hmm.
uh, it's something I think worst uh, to create whatever. It's I think it's I'm frightening about it.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's do question number 3 then. Would you be for it? If not, what about cloning an extinct species such as the woolly mammoth? So we'll start with Daniel on this one. Daniel, what would you think about cloning a different kind of species like a woolly mammoth? Would that be okay?
I don't know. Mm, we should know more about it for to give an opinion. I don't know if
Mm,
it mm, it's good for to discover new medicine, for example,
mm-hmm.
maybe, but only for to know we can do whatever. Mm, I don't like it.
All right. Fernando, are you with Daniel on this? Do you think that it's kind of not a very nice idea, or do you
No,
think cloning a
it's
woolly mammoth would be okay?
it's a bad idea because I think if the mammoth extinct was for something, I think if they will cloning animals like I don't know uh, normal elephants, then it's almost extinct or rhinos. Yes, I think
Mm-hmm.
they can do that in animals that we hunt, we cause that the extinct, yeah?
Mm-hmm. So that's actually an interesting idea, starting with species that are not yet extinct, like, I don't know, like pandas or something.
Yes.
Interesting. Daniel, what do you think about that? If we cloned species that still exist, so in order to increase their population, would that be okay, do you think?
Yes, this way I okay. I agree.
All right. Nice ideas.
But in other species mm, who which it don't exist yet, I don't agree.
Mm. All right. So let's read another couple interesting ideas here. In the next reading, it's called Case Studies in Biomedical Ethics. And we're going to talk a little bit about these. I'll read the first line and then I'll have you read the following paragraphs. Issues in biomedical ethics, or bioethics, are not limited to fantasies about cloning extinct species. Consider and discuss the following cases with a partner or as a group. So, number 1, or A rather. Daniel, can you read A for us?
A 58 years old woman with a terminal disease is found in her apartment after a failed suicide attempt. The woman, barely breathing, is taken to the hospital where she slips into a coma. The woman did not have a will. Her proxy asks doctors to remove her ventilator so the patient can die because she clearly did not want to live.
Okay. So we have a couple vocabulary terms here that we'll discuss first. What is a terminal disease?
That she's gonna die soon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she won't survive. It's a disease that definitely ends in death. How about a coma in the next line?
It's an state when you can't do anything, you just sleep.
Yeah, not really fully conscious or alive. What about a will? What is a will? She did not have a will.
The last word. Write
Yeah,
in
the
a
last
piece
word.
of paper.
Mm-hmm. And usually it'll say something like, I give my house to my son and my money to my daughter, or something. It divides up your stuff and,
I give my
so
debts.
yeah, yeah, I give all my debt to my husband. Exactly. And the last one here is proxy. What is a proxy? Her proxy asks doctors to remove her.
A relative.
Could be family or relative. Yeah, so it's some kind of substitute. So the person that represents you
Mm-hmm.
and represents your wishes. Oh man, I was just about to welcome Aka to class. I think there's hangout problems today. Shell had a lot of trouble getting in and kept getting kicked out, and she said she's just going to stay out of class now. But I'm so sorry, Shell, and I wish that that weren't happening this morning. And it looks like Ken is kind of having the same difficulty.
Yeah, but maybe I joined now.
Awesome, you're here. Okay. Did you get to listen to when we read A?
No, sorry.
We're about to discuss it. Fernando, would you like to summarize A for him?
Summarize?
Yeah, summarize the problem that's being discussed in what we just read.
Oh yes, it's about an old woman with a terminal disease that she didn't want to live more. She tried to suicide, but she failed, and now she's in coma. And her proxy is, for example, family or her lawyer, I don't know, maybe, or a close friend, asked the doctor to remove her a machine who still her will life, because if she tried to suicide, maybe she didn't want to live.
So, Fernando, what's your opinion on this? Do you think that it should be okay for a person to decide that they don't want to live anymore, or is it something that should be left up to nature?
I think it's normal. If she doesn't want to live, what we can do. Yes, it's her life, not our life. It's her problem, not our problem. And her proxy asked the doctor to remove is alright, because she didn't want to live, and now she's living but died. Like the same.
Daniel, what are your thoughts here?
I I agree with the will of the woman. I totally agree.
So you think she should be taken off her ventilators?
If you can't live anymore, you're in your right. I think maybe you they shouldn't be person to force to do it, but if you can do it, why not? If you have a terminal disease or whatever, is in your right. You're in your right.
All right. Ken, would you add your thoughts as well? What do you think about this situation?
Yeah, I have the same opinion. Yeah, and because she has a terminal disease and maybe suffers from that, and she committed suicide, that means it's almost like her will. And her proxy asks doctor. But the problem is maybe in many nations, euthanasia is not legal. That's why doctor don't do that. I think so. Hello, can you hear me?
Sorry, I was totally talking and
Ah,
I accidentally had myself on mute. But yeah, I think you're right. It's not legal in a lot of places, and so everyone is worried that there's going to be uh, problems. They're going to get sued or have legal trouble later. Yeah.
yeah.
It's difficult to think about.
Mm,
Let's read B and we'll discuss this one. They're all equally difficult. Ken, will you read this one for us?
Okay, a mother and child visit the doctor. The child is complaining of flu-like symptoms. After asking the boy to remove his shirt, the doctor notices distinct bruises on his back. The mother explains that they are from a procedure called Kaojiao, which involves rubbing warm oil on the skin with a coin or metal object. The mother says that Kaojiao is used to raise out bad blood and improve circulation. When the doctor touches the boy's back, the boy makes a painful face. The doctor is unsure of whether he should report the mother to protective services.
All right. Let's have Daniel voice his opinion first on this one. What do you think? This mom is doing something that's not really good for her son, but her intentions are good. What do you think? What should be done here?
I don't know, but maybe as a doctor, I must call protective service, but maybe the mother is in her right, and it is something bad enough. I don't know.
So if you were the doctor, you would call protective services.
Yes, you must, and then the protective service should do what they usually do in this case. But maybe watching this situation, maybe it's a oriental technique, or I don't know, Kaojiu. I, it sounds
Yeah.
maybe maybe from China, or I don't know. And
Yeah,
maybe
maybe
it's
it's some kind of medical practice we're just unaware of.
it's Chinese people is their culture to do this kind of things.
Yeah.
When you change
Fernando? Oh, go ahead.
when
Sorry.
you when you change country and you have a different culture for food or for whatever, sometimes you you'll have troubles in this way.
Yeah, it's difficult to change, and it's probably something, the mom didn't mean to do something bad, so it's sad to punish someone for their culture. You don't want to do that, of course. So it's a tough situation. All right. Fernando, would you like to give your opinion as well? Would you call protective services or what?
Yes, but first I will ask to the mother who go outside and leave me alone with the child, and then I will ask him what happened.
So you'd get the boy's perspective of it first.
Yes, and I will ask him for the truth.
Got it. So you think maybe it's not, she didn't mean well. Maybe it's just an abusive home situation.
Yes.
Got it. All right. Oh, Adela was here for a second, but then she dropped off. Ken, go ahead and tell us what you would do. Would you call protective services or what?
Yes, I think doctor's priority in this case, the top priority is kid safety, or what kids and for smokers they cannot know what is happened to him actually, so because they have to rely on their parents. This problem happens, the parents believe that could be the good treatment, but sometimes kind public interface is necessary to rescue kids if truly that kind of treatment apply to the kids. So I think he should contact with the protective services.
All right. We all agree then. Okay. C, let's have Fernando read this one for us.
See?
Uh-huh.
A couple wishes to have a child, however, the 32-year-old woman is scared of Huntington's disease. HD is a disease that shows symptoms at around 35 to 45 years old age and always ends in death. Any child the mother conceives will have 50% chance of contracting the illness. Therefore, the couple decides to use in vitro fertilization to fertilize several of the woman's eggs. Using a special technology, the doctors eliminate the eggs with the defective gene and keep one healthy one. 9 months later, a healthy boy is born who does not carry the HD gene.
All right. So Ken, voice your opinion first. Do you think this kind of genetic modification of humans is ethical or not?
I think kind of how can I say, it's different in the standpoint. If I see this thing as a whole human being species, as a species, maybe even though that kind of inferior gene a human doctor considered, but that gene might helpful to survive or to keep our species. But if I were their parent, I definitely want to change their gene, the kid gene. So two different opinions, a dilemma actually. There's a species of human and as an individual.
Mm-hmm. All right. Adela, are you there? I can't hear you, Adela. Let me know in the chat box if you can hear me okay. Oh, man. All right. Well, then, Daniel, will you go next and tell us what you think of this kind of genetic modification of humans?
I totally agree in this case.
All right. So this one's okay.
If you can avoid this terrible disease.
What if it were something else? What if it were like, the mother wanted a red-haired baby? Just like the color of hair was important. Do you think the same kind of process for a different gene would be okay?
I said in this case.
Okay, only in this case.
In the case to avoid a disease.
Okay.
For example, HD or whatever disease you can avoid, but the color of the skin, or the eyes, or the hair, I don't like it. It must be at random.
All right. Cool. Fernando, do you agree with Daniel?
I don't understand some words that he said.
So he was saying that he thinks it's okay in this situation to avoid some really bad illnesses, but it would not be okay if you were selecting other genes, like maybe for a blonde-haired baby instead of a brown-haired baby or something.
Oh yes, I am agree with him because yes, it's a good reason to avoid the illness or disease.
Mhm.
But if you want to have a perfect baby, that's no good. It's it's against the nature.
All right. Okay. Then let's go on to D. I think this is our last one. And let's see it. Fernando, did you read the last one?
Yes.
Okay, then it's Daniel's turn. Go ahead and read this one, Daniel.
In 1985, researchers in the United States Department of Agriculture inserted human growth hormone genes into the fertilized eggs of pigs. Their aim was to produce pigs that could convert grain into meat faster while consuming less grain. This would be more cost-effective for farmers. 19 piglets with human genes survived birth and lived to maturity. However, the experiment failed to produce the desired results. Most pigs suffered from severe medical problems, and all were sterile.
Mhm. Okay. Daniel, what's your opinion? You can go first on this one. Do you think that this kind of experiment is okay or not that much?
I don't like experiment in this way for produce more than the natural way in animals and in vegetables,
Mm.
because you can say in the future, you can't know in the future what will happen. In this case, we see it was fair, a total fair.
Mhm. Okay, so you think this kind of experiment is not good for animals or even good for vegetables, like genetically modified
Yes.
foods and stuff are not really good either.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
All right. Ken, how about you?
Yes, I think kind of, yeah, maybe the same as the previous answer, as a species, a whole kind of environment of maybe this kind of thing will be harmful the future environment because human produce unnatural genes type of animals, and we're not sure what the effect uh, cause that in the future as a result. And maybe it has a lot of risk. Genetically modified food, there's no guarantee to be safe.
Mhm.
And experiment itself is almost like a torture for animals. So I,
Yeah,
I, yeah, I don't like it.
pretty sad.
Yes.
All right. Fernando, how do you feel
Yes.
about this kind of experimentation?
I think it's a bad idea because they just think in the benefit, but what if we think about we are mixed human genes with animal genes? What will happen in the future?
Yeah, that's a pretty scary thing to
I
think about.
Yes, it's scary because Hollywood made many movies about uh, experiment with animals, but we are doing the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What
It's
about for vegetables and that kind of thing? Is it okay for fruits and vegetables,
oh,
like genetically modified
yes, I think it's
GMO?
good. It's good because, for example, in some countries that the vegetable is difficult to grow, they can
Mm-hmm.
modify it, I don't know, corn, tomatoes, for have the capacity to resist that weather or that ground and grow good for the people. It's a good idea.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so for fruits and vegetables, you think it's a good idea, but for animals, that's one step too far.
Yeah.
Okay. And Adela, are you here? No? Can't hear you, Adela. Sorry you're having problems today. All right, so we kind of talked a little bit about each of these, but in the beginning, we talked about something that I thought was interesting and we should go back to. This first one, talking about the terminal disease, I think you all kind of concluded that you felt like she should have the right to be taken off ventilators. And then Ken mentioned something about assisted suicide, that how it's illegal, and so that's taking a person off their ventilators would be like assisting in suicide.
Its name
So
is
what do you think?
euthanasia.
Yeah,
Eh,
euthanasia is another form of assisted suicide. And it's one that's been talked about a lot, and there was even a pretty famous movie that came out about it. I think it was called Dr. Kevorkian, and it came out a few years ago. So, Fernando, what do you think about assisted suicide for cases of patients that maybe are not terminally ill, someone who just doesn't want to live anymore?
Oh, if someone is good, have a good health and don't want to live anymore, he can suicide for him. I think the euthanasia is not good. Uh, it's acceptable when someone is in a bed without eat, without move for months or years, without help. Yeah, it's normal.
Yeah.
But if someone is good, if someone have good health and don't want to live, come on, you're good. You have life.
So, what about
Get a
for a
job
person
or
who
get a
is
life. Yeah.
handicapped and their health is not very good, but they also could continue to live for a long time? So, this would be a person somewhere in between. They're not terminally ill, but their health isn't great. Like maybe they have something like
I
they're
think
paralyzed from the neck down or
if
something.
if he if he or her is in his mind or her mind,
Hmm.
he can understand everything. He need to stay alive.
Okay, so if the person is capable, then they'll
Yes.
want to stay alive.
Yes.
Okay. Daniel, what do you think about assisted suicide for patients who are not terminally ill?
Yes, I think it should be a right. You should have the option to end your life. Always with a good reason.
Hmm. Okay,
No.
so it has to have a good reason, not just I'm bored of my life and I'm
Yes,
just done. I don't
yes.
want to do it anymore. Okay.
And a psychological study first,
Mhm.
and then maybe you have a terminal disease or not terminal because you can live 20 years but always in pain. Uh,
Mhm.
I think it would be a good right, but there's a high moral in all this. And
Mhm.
at the moment, moral win the right
Mhm.
to end with your life.
Yeah, that kind of right would take a long time probably to formulate. All right. Ken, what do you think of assisted suicide for people who are not terminally ill?
Even though they are not suffer from terminal ill, but some disease cause extraordinary pain to the patients. So, but it's a very difficult problem actually. You know, if they became a depression for the pain, or both physical or mental pain, usually patients want to die actually. But if the situation will turn to be well in for the medication and the will return, the will to live will return. So it's not so easily applied to the patients, but it's kind of very difficult problem actually to judge whether it is a truly reasonable reason or not. And after the euthanasia legalized in Dutch government released a document called Lemeling report probably. In that report, several cases euthanasia were misused, and in other case, maybe it could be Colorado, maybe the process of euthanasia failed, so people couldn't die. Kind of, it's very difficult problem actually.
Yeah,
It is,
that's
I participate in the debate much for this topic, so I know this kind of thing. I collect the kind of proof, both negative and positive, for this.
yeah, it's a very fascinating topic, even if it can be sad sometimes.
Yeah, it was a tough and difficult debate. Yeah.
Is there some country where you can do euthanasia?
Yes,
Yes.
Dutch and Colorado.
Netherlands is legal. In Netherlands, illegal. I can't remember more.
And Colorado, state of Colorado,
Yes.
United States.
Oh, okay.
All right. So there's a couple more vocabulary words that I forgot to ask us to define. So let's define these last few vocabulary words before we finish up. So the first word, this is from C, is contracting, talking about contracting an illness. What does it mean to contract an illness?
In this context is the chance to the baby to have the illness
Mm-hmm.
from his mother.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And what about fertilize? The word fertilize.
Nurture, to grow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So like the creation of a baby, kind of like egg and sperm type stuff. All right. Did you guys have any other vocabulary questions from all of these that we read?
Yes, what is the meaning of I'm in this second line?
Aim. Got it. Yeah. Their aim was to produce pigs. Okay. Ken or Daniel, any ideas how we can define the word aim?
Purpose.
Yeah, purpose, goal.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Good question. Any other vocabulary questions from these? No? Can you guys think of any other biomedical dilemmas, like any other situations that you think are kind of iffy and you're not sure if they're totally legitimate or should be legal or not?
I found a kind of a bit shocking article on the internet the other day. The brainless chicken.
What? What is a brainless chicken?
You know do you know the problem animal farm? You know, nowadays to produce a lot of meat, a kind of animal will grow in a very bad condition. They cannot move. even though they are creatures. So brainless chicken has no brain, so they don't suffer. Just produce meat.
Whoa. And that's something that exists now, or is it like a goal
Maybe
for the future?
it's still in the kind of on the process of the how can I say making a good actual good meat. But
Whoa.
yeah, it exists in the world in the laboratory somewhere in the
That
laboratory.
is fascinating. Daniel, what do you think of the brainless chicken dilemma? Do you think it would be a good solution to animal cruelty or no?
I don't know I don't know the dilemma.
It's
Could
cruel.
you could you
Ken
write it?
said, yeah, sure, I'll put it in the chat box. So Ken described that they can grow chickens that don't have brains. And that means
It's
they don't
possible?
suffer in the process of becoming food.
Is it possible?
Yeah, he says it's possible and it has been done,
Yes,
but
it's
just
possible
not
because
enough to.
there is a history about chicken that can live without head.
Okay,
Interesting.
yes.
So it's possible, but so far it hasn't been done for like, international consumption. It's just been done in tests. Do you think, Daniel, that it would be a good solution to animal cruelty, or would you think it was weird if you were eating a chicken that was never really alive?
I think it's
It's
a
weird.
bad idea. It's not natural. I like to eat natural food and the happy chicken. I don't know.
Okay, so you want happy chickens, not brainless
Yeah,
chickens.
yes.
All right. Fernando, what do you want? Do you think that the brainless chicken would be a good solution to animal cruelty, which is really common today?
No, I would prefer become a vegan people.
Okay, so instead of the chickens
Yes,
that are abused, you would just become a vegan.
yes, it's cruel for the animals.
Mm. All right. Any other topics you guys want to discuss? We've got 1 more minute. Not much time. I saw Daniel put a topic in the chat box. It is a very debated topic. Do you want to share anything about that, Daniel?
Which,
This it's le is legal. It is legal
Mm-hmm.
in Spain,
Mm-hmm.
but a person in the government wanted to eliminate, and they have a huge fight,
Mm-hmm.
and at the end they they demite or he he lost
Oh,
the
lost the
fight.
case.
Yes, yes.
So it's legal, but it's not practiced?
It's illegal mm, uh, up to 4 months, I think.
Ah, I see. And then after that, it's not.
Mhm.
Highly debated topic, yes. Biomedical ethics. That's a great example of how these things can be tricky. Ah, Daniel got kicked out. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for coming and debating and talking about these. And I hope to see you guys again soon.
Thank you, teacher.
Thank you
Thanks,
very
guys.
much.
See you later.
Bye. See you later.